All right, so here's the number part of the video. So basically, I'm going to break down exactly step by step what happened in this, and then from there, hopefully you guys can kind of see how the numbers work, and then this can be motivation for you to do this as well. So the property I bought back in December, and I bought it for it was listed for like $350 initially, then it went down to $315, and then I was actually in a contract, like it's called option period, which is basically like this period after you offer and they say okay and they execute the contract. So now you're under contract, you're paying $100 to basically be in a 7-day window. And so I was already in on another house that I ended up selling to a buddy of mine. But then I'm just because I'm addicted to it and I'm always trying to find the best deals in the market. This house I already was familiar with, and I love the location, I love the build out of the house, it had a lot of potential. But it got taken off the market, like someone already put an offer in, so I was like, dang it, all right, so whatever. So I went ahead with that other house. And then while I was in process, like 1 or 2 days into that other option period on the other house, this came back on the market. And I was like, oh, snap. Okay, this is really cool. And so I went over to this property that we just looked at, and I put an offer in immediately. And so I had an option to either take the 3% commission as a real estate agent or the 3% seller contributions as if you guys have watched my other videos, seller contributions, basically you can put that towards your closing costs in a transaction. So therefore, I was able to come out of pocket with very little money. And so because the other property that I bought, it was a year between the two, I was able to make this into a primary residence and turn the other one into no longer primary residence. So I was able to homestead this one. And so I was able to get in here for 3% down. And so basically for me to get in here, I paid like less than $9,000 to buy this house. Plus the $3,000 earnest money, but here nor there. And so no closing costs, and I was able to put some extra money towards some closing fees and rates and stuff like that. But anyways, less than $9,000. I was able to get into this property, and so I listed it. I got it up listed in March, and then I had my first booking March 31st, which got me like $2,000 something. And so that was awesome. On the Smurf house, I was averaging $1,500 to $2,500 a month. And so within the first booking of this property, I was able to do as much as I normally do on a good month on the Smurf house. And I was like, whoa, this is going to get a little nuts. And so the second month, I was able to really start seeing the ability that this house has. And I was able to play around with the numbers, and I found out the key to success on this property. So let's check out the numbers. So far this year, I have made, up to this date, it's the middle of August right now, and I've made $74,745. And so this is with only having this new listing up since basically April. And so I increased the prices, and I increased the weekend prices, and I didn't want anybody coming in during the week because I wanted just basically to live there during the week, invite my friends over. And so what I ended up doing was I increased the weekend rate to like $600, $700 something dollars, but then the weekday rate was like $250, $350. And I didn't really even care if anyone booked the weekday stuff. And so then it didn't really increase the amount that I saw the next month as much as I thought it would. I thought based on how quickly things were booking up on the weekends, then I would see a little more. But I did go up to $7,134 in the month of April. And so I was pretty excited about that. Anyways, I think it's a good point to mention that my mortgage and everything on this house is around $2,500 a month, and then after electricity, water, gas, everything, it comes out to be around, my overhead on this house is around $3,000 a month, and that's not to factor in any kind of damages and replacements and stuff that I have. But a lot of times Airbnb pays for that, so I don't necessarily have to factor that in as much as I would on like a standard rental property. So what I decided to do in May is that I changed my listing up a little bit, and I started putting on there that it's going to be open for big events. And so I listed there it can host over 100 people, and the only caveat is that they have to pay $25 per person over 16 people. Before I didn't have that. That changed everything. And so now I had only bookings on the weekends, single day bookings, and it was always Friday and Saturday, sometimes a couple more days, but it was basically only Friday and Saturday for that month. and it was people coming in for graduation parties or birthday parties. And they'd be like, hey, how much is it going to be for 50 people plus? And so I do 50 minus 16 times 25, and I send it their way. And now I'm getting that $500, $600, $700 like I was before, but I'm also getting an additional sometimes $1,200, $500 to $1,000, sometimes $1,500 because of the extra people that are coming. And then that's what was a huge game changer. And so I started booking a couple more weekdays as well. I booked larger groups. And overall, that month in May, I made $15,572 for that month with the Smurf house and the Norma house combined. Now that month in the Smurf house, I made around $3,000, and so overall, I still brought in over $12,000 in 1 month on this property alone. I think that right now where I'm currently at with this property is being the middle of August, we're at about just under $7,000 for both properties combined. I'm thinking where I'm going to be at with this property is a safe zone for me to think about keeping the prices, is I'm shooting for around $7,000 to $8,000 a month average. Right now, if you average in all the months, I'm bringing in just under $7,000 a month if you factor in like the low months and high months. And so I'm going to do pricing strategies to reflect that. I'm going to do long-term discounts for people that want to come with a big group for a long period of time, which is always really nice, but are not so focused on throwing parties. But then for the weekends, I'm going to make sure that's my bread and butter. And so I'm still going to make sure to charge at least $700 a month or $700 a night with those extra fees. I did tack on some extra stuff, like if I find cigarette butts around, I'll charge you $50. If you cover up any of my security cameras, which is very important to make sure I can check how many people will come to the party that they're throwing, it's another $1,000. And then if they want to have a DJ, then they have to pay an extra $1,000 as well. And so these are some extra things that I throw in on top of that. And then I make sure to put on there that if they cause any damage to the property, then they're responsible for doing it. So this is basically how I made that $15,000 in 1 month with this property and the other property combined. And so this is a great property. I love it. It does always have headaches though, so keep that in mind. This isn't all sunshine and roses. If you're trying to do this Airbnb investing thing, remember this is work. Eventually, over time, it gets easier and easier, and you set yourself up some parameters and some guidelines, and then you get yourself some nice equipment and appliances that don't break on you. But so far on this house alone, I've had to replace the air conditioning unit. I had to replace 2 air conditioning units, and I had to get a plumber out here, do some massive plumbing work. I had to replace a water heater. I've had to do all sorts of stuff in the backyard, a lot of electrician stuff, and so overall it's just been kind of a constant thing. But at the same time, if you're gonna make crazy money, you gotta do crazy things. But yeah, that's basically the breakdown of everything. I appreciate you guys spending your time with me today. And if you have any questions, make sure to comment below. And if you want to hear more success stories like this, I have many clients that have done the same thing that I've done. And so I'm more than happy to interview them and kind of have them break down the numbers like I've done here. All right, guys, thanks so much and have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really do want to receive your comments because to me, I'm not going to do any kind of paid tutorials or training programs or anything like that. I'm not looking to get paid off this channel other than just wanting to get paid by your comments and your stories, by me helping you get started in real estate investing or me teaching you something that was able to retire you sooner than you thought.